This was quite possibly the weirdest episode of Monday Night Raw we've had in quite some time. I feel like some of the stuff was a bit all over the place. Some of the things that happened were a bit intriguing. So let's get on with the show. The show began with MVP and Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is back. It's great to see Apollo Crews back in the fold. I'm actually happy to see that Apollo Crews be a little bit more aggressive. You know, throughout his entire career, he's been doing nothing but smile. You know, he does all the smiling all the time. But it's great to see that he was able to take things a bit more seriously here. So, I want to point things out here that this was for the United States Championship. And Apollo Crews wins this match. And he now has earned the brand new United States title. So the old one is now done and dusted. And we're having a lot of technical issues as well, like power outages was happening as well on the show. So we don't know what was going on there. Like, I think it was a part of the show, I'm assuming it was all part of the show, because the lights went out, the lights would flicker back on, the lights would go off, and they'd flicker back on. Microphones would cut out several times. So I feel like it was all part of the show. MVP would start making excuses that he lost. He would start making excuses claiming that he only lost because of the power outages and microphones cutting off. He believes he was distracted by all the lights flickering and stuff. So he demanded a rematch at SummerSlam for the United States title. Shayna Baszler would sucker punch Sasha Banks backstage, and this left me very confused. I understand that Sasha's the Raw Women's Champion, but the problem is that we were expecting Asuka's revenge, which that sort of happened, but so I was kind of confused on why Shayna Baszler would just sucker punch the Raw Women's Champion. And I can't stress this enough. Why do these MMA horsewomen get rewarded for doing bad things? Seriously, this bitch was rewarded a match with Sasha Banks later on. And the fact that this bitch still thinks she's Raw Women's Championship contender worthy. This girl lost to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania and didn't even win Money in the Bank. So I don't understand how Shayna Baszler is still considered a contender. This woman should be at the end of the line, working her way up. That's why I was actually very intrigued with the Nia Jax feud. I was like, here we go. They're finally going to have Shayna Baszler work for her title shot. But no, just sucker punches Sasha and she gets a match with her. At least it was non-title. But that didn't happen until way later on in the show. Kevin Owens' show happened. Liv and Ruby had a very strong segment, trying to work things out. The Iconics would come out and interrupt, as it was expected. And I gotta give WWE credit. This feud, well, not really this feud in general, but I think this feud in general is now picking up. But I more look at this as potential now. I feel like the only reason why the Riot Squad are now together is because they don't really have many tag teams. Because if you think about it, Sasha Banks and Bayley have beaten every tag team possible. And they've got no teams. WWE literally have no teams for them to face. I know it may sound like a kind of a bad reason for why, But I honestly believe the only reason why Sasha and Bayley are the tag team champions now is for the ratings. Now that might be incorrect. Some people may think that's not true, but it's kind of ironic that they haven't defended them in quite a while. Now, I'm not calling them bad champions. I'm just saying it's a bit of a coincidence they haven't been defending them lately. And it's because they've got no teams. Now that you've got Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott reuniting, to me, they're the only team, I believe, that should win the belts. Now, I know Natalya and Lana are technically a team, but but Lana's kind of off TV because her parents are kind of gotten COVID-19. Rusev's got COVID-19, and she's kind of off TV because of those reasons. Natalya, I don't know why she's off television, but yes, they are a team. Yes, Natalya and Lana do count, but they're not on TV. So in my personal opinion, it makes perfect sense for Liv and Ruby to be the team that dethrones Sasha and Bayley of the tag team titles. But I don't think they will lose the tag team titles. I don't think they'll lose them until Sasha loses the Raw Women's Championship. That's just my personal guess. Then we had a match between Liv and Ruby against the Iconics. Now, this outcome was very predictable. I knew this outcome was going to happen. But the problem I have with this match, is the ending. Billie Kay suffered no damage in this match. She suffered 0 damage. Not a single ounce of punishment happened to her in this match. And then she gets pinned. Like, she doesn't even take a single punch. She gets pinned immediately. Liv Morgan just rolls her up for a pin when she literally took no damage. And I was just sitting there like, what? Really? Billie took no damage and she got pinned that easily. This is how you ruin superstars. I love Billie Kay. Billie Kay she's my favorite member of the Iconics. She's so underrated. People overlook her. I think she has a lot of potential. I think Billie has a lot of potential to break out and be a big star. Peyton Royce, she's got championship material written all over her. But the problem is they're treating Billie Kay like she can't wrestle. Billie Kay can wrestle. They're treating her that she doesn't know what she's doing in the ring. She does know what to do in the ring. Billie Kay is decent. She is a decent wrestler. Yeah, sure, her selling isn't all that great, but I think her selling can be great at times, and sometimes it can be a bit sloppy. But Billie Kay is so underrated. She's so underrated. She's like the most overlooked member of the Iconics because everybody praises Peyton Royce. Everybody praises Peyton Royce, but I feel like people are really underlooking Billie Kay. And that's kind of why I was kind of furious with this. Because if you guys have seen my recent tweets, I've been if you guys have follow me on Twitter, I've been posting some stuff about Billie Kay and Billie Kay only. Because I'm a big Billie Kay fan. I really love Billie Kay. I love Peyton too, but I love Billie Kay more. So I thought it was kind of stupid to see Billie Kay literally suffer no damage and she just gets pinned. Yeah, this is how you ruin stars. This is how you make people care. This is how you make people care less about your superstars. The fact that you have Billie Kay lose immediately. Just straight up lose without taking any damage. The Iconics would attack Liv Morgan after the match. Well, yeah, no wonder. Billie Kay took no damage. As I said, Billie Kay took absolutely 0 damage. So of course she'd get right back up and attack her opponent. But Liv and Ruby would beat down Billie, leaving her laying. What a way to see. The Iconics have never been treated great. And this is the thing that makes me angry. The Iconics are both so talented, and they always lose. They always lose. They're always treated like shit. It's just... God, I just wish they were treated better. Even when they were tag team champions, they're treated like crap. You guys are going to be shocked to hear this, but for the first time in a while, we've actually got a men's segment that I was actually invested in. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. I loved this segment between Randy and Drew. The fact they were both bringing up their pasts, like Drew. Like, has Drew McIntyre been taking lessons from Charlotte Flair on how to cut a promo? Like, don't get me wrong, Charlotte's promos are good. Some of them can be good. But I more mean the Charlotte promos where she constantly repeats the same thing every single week. I feel like Drew McIntyre, every single week this guy comes out, he always talks about how he got fired and how he came back, made his redemption story. Like, yeah, we get it, Drew. You were fired. You were Vince McMahon elected you as the chosen one. You failed to live up to your potential. You got fired. Yes, we get it. It's a simple story. It's a simple story to feel bad for him. But why should we be feeling bad for him? He's conquered the demon. He's conquered his demons. He's the WWE champion. So I feel like there's no reason for him to constantly keep bringing up when he got fired. If he wasn't the WWE champion, then yes, I think it would be understandable that he keeps bringing it up. But now that he's the WWE champion, I feel like there is no reason for him to keep mentioning that, oh, I got fired and now I've got my redemption. Yeah, great, you got your redemption. You don't need to keep telling us. We know. Drew also put Randy Orton on the spot by saying that people like Edge and The Undertaker pulled you up. They saved your career. Then he brought up that Randy Orton never saves anyone's careers. They didn't say... He mentioned that when Drew McIntyre needed Randy Orton at most, during the period when he was about to get fired, he said, I needed you, Randy, but you were not there for me. You didn't pick me up. You don't want anyone on your level. It was a very good back and forth promo. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Throughout the show, WWE were building up some kind of new thing that Shane McMahon was going to introduce, and we'll get to that when we get to it because I've got a lot to say about that. So then we had Nia Jax. She has been suspended without pay. So Nia Jax beat up a doctor or an official, whatever. She beat somebody up and she got suspended. She had to apologize, but she got suspended and she didn't apologize. So she ended up getting suspended for it. Now, some people think Nia is just going to come back the next week on Raw and she's going to disobey her suspension. I think Nia Jax is legitimately gone. I think she's legitimately gone. I think, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, I'm thinking Nia Jax requested time off. I think it's possible that she requested time off and she probably didn't want to wrestle. She probably wanted to take time off and, be away for a while, so they probably rid her off TV with this suspension storyline. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think there's any reason for them to just suspend her and for her to keep coming back. Now, if it's a storyline for her to come back, then yeah, I think then yes, it would make sense. But they suspended, it was a legitimate suspension, and it's a suspension without pay. So I think Nia is gone. I think Nia is going to be taking some time away. So yeah, I think that's going to be the end of Nia Jax for a while. We had the 24/7 championship on the line as Shelton Benjamin defended it against R-Truth and Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa would win the match. He would become a 3-time 24/7 champion. Who cares, really? Who cares, really? So then we had Shayna Baszler come out to the ring, and she has a match with Sasha Banks. As I mentioned, Shayna Baszler sucker punched Sasha Banks backstage, and somehow this rewards her a match with Sasha Banks. I swear these MMA people just really get on my nerves with how they do things. And these MMA bums, they just do things their way, and they just think their way gets them everything. Shayna Baszler has no business being in the ring with the Raw Women's Champion. I was afraid that this match was going to be a straight up clean win for Shayna, and she was just going to tap out Sasha Banks. But no, this match ended in a no contest where Asuka would come out to the ring. I don't get this. The bell rang when Asuka put her hands on Bayley. She put her hands on Bayley, she beat the crap out of Bayley, and the referee would call for the disqualification. And I was thinking to myself, huh? Why did they call for the disqualification? Bayley's not even in the match. And the referee just called for the DQ. So the match between Sasha and Shayna ended in no contest. That's why I assumed Shayna was going to tap out Sasha Banks, because I thought Asuka was going to come out, just beat the crap out of Bayley, and that distracts Sasha, which causes her to submit to that stupid clutch that Shayna does. But no, that didn't even happen. It ended in a no contest. Asuka would demand a rematch. Sasha gives it to her, but on one condition. Sasha says as long as you can defeat Bayley, you will get your match. Yes, she said Bayley. Sasha Banks throws Bayley under the bus again. This is Sasha Banks getting payback on Bayley. Bayley has thrown Sasha Banks under the bus multiple times. Once against Tamina and once against Alexa. She's also did it with Lacey Evans. She's done it with Nikki Cross. So Bayley's done it to Sasha quite a bit of times. Like I said, with Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, Tamina, Alexa Bliss. So Sasha is basically now getting payback. She's now getting payback for all the time she threw her under the bus. Now, this may sound ridiculous, but I've got a feeling Shayna Baszler is going to get involved. You know what happened last week with how Bayley beat the crap out of Kairi Sane, forced Kairi Sane to watch her friend get completely annihilated? I would not be shocked if this happens next week on Raw, like a kind of bit of a role reversal. Like Bayley is about to have the match won, and then Shayna Baszler, like Sasha's at ringside and she's supporting her friend, and then Shayna Baszler comes from behind and puts Sasha Banks in the clutch. And Shayna just makes Bayley watch as she's squeezing the life out of Sasha with the Karafuda clutch or whatever the hell she calls it. And this distracts Bayley long enough to where Asuka successfully pins Bayley. Maybe with a knockout kick, or puts her in the Asuka lock, which forces Bayley to tap. Who knows? But I don't know. I just got that weird feeling that's probably what's going to happen. They're probably going to do a role reversal where the same thing happens to Sasha and Bayley. So either way, next week, Asuka is definitely beating Bayley. Shane McMahon. We saw Shane McMahon. He was going to make his return to Raw to announce something. We thought he was going to play more of a role. We thought Shane was going to play a bit of a role in what was going to happen on television. But no. We thought he was going to announce like a draft that was going to come up after SummerSlam. No. We thought he was going to get involved with the whole Sasha and Bayley incident. No. He introduces to us Raw Underground. I don't know how to personally feel about this. I don't really like it. It was very weird. Now I know people say, oh, well, we're going to try out new things. But yes, it's understandable. And that's an understandable reason. Yes, we should give this a chance. But just by me just watching it, I can't say I'm a big fan of it. Can't say I'm a fan of this. I just wish Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon were the GMs. I just wish they were the GMs of either Raw or SmackDown, and you treat them like William Regal. You only have them there when they need to be there. You don't have them there every week, sucking up TV time. You can easily just have Shane and Stephanie as GMs for either Raw or SmackDown, and and you could just have them just be there when they need to be there. It's that simple. We don't need stuff like Raw Underground. So next we had the Street Profits. They were going to have singles matches with Angel Garza and Andrade. The interesting thing about this is about what happened to Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins would lose his match to Angel Garza because Montez Ford was not feeling well. He kind of collapsed at ringside. And then Montez Ford would have a match with Andrade. It looked like he was in control. He was about to win. But Montez Ford's collapsed again. He collapses again in the ring, which causes the referee to call for the bell, which gives Andrade the victory. Well, actually, the match ended in no contest. And then backstage, as Garza, Andrade, and Vega were being interviewed, Charlie Caruso asks Angelo Dawkins what happened. And Angelo Dawkins reveals that Montez Ford got poisoned. Someone put poison in the cup. Which I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He drank out of the cup and all of a sudden he got poisoned. But Bianca Belair was there. She would walk out of the door and immediately accuse Zelina Vega. Like, without question, she just walks out. She's like, just the girl I wanted to see. So Bianca just straight away accuses Zelina Vega for what happened to Montez Ford. She just straight away blames Vega for drink poisoning her husband. Now, do I think it was Zelina Vega? I think it'd be way too obvious if it was Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega was pushing back, trying to act all innocent, but Bianca would attack her, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get a match between them next week. Do I think it was Zelina Vega? It probably is going to be revealed It probably is going to be revealed as Zelina Vega. But Zelina was very adamant that it wasn't her. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think Zelina Vega poisoned Montez Ford, or do you think somebody else did it? You guys let me know. For now, I think it possibly could be Zelina Vega, but at the same time, I don't want it to be Zelina because it'd be way too obvious. So then we had this mysterious segment happen where we had these 5 masked assailants. They kind of blow up the generator. They blow up the generator with fireworks and they run away. Now there was a story that WWE.com posted that there was going to be like a new stable causing chaos on Monday Night Raw. Now at first I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be the Undisputed Era. But these masked assailants, to me, must be the stable. Now, I remember months ago there was rumors going around when the Hacker was still a thing. I think the Hacker could be done and dusted, and I think he could be dead by now. But if this rumor is true, that they said there was going to be multiple hackers, like, they didn't say how many, they just said there was more than one hacker. So what if this is the Hacker? What if these 5 mysterious masked people, well, I can't say masked men because one of them sounded like a girl, so what if these masked people are the Hackers? One of them sounded like a girl, and one person pitched to me that it could be NXT star Indy Hartwell, who was the female. Now, I think that would be interesting because, you know, as I said, there was a girl there. And also, remember, there was a girl voice with the Hacker. Now, this is just speculation. This isn't truth or anything. I think those 5 assailants are probably the mysterious hackers that we were hearing about for months. Then again, I could very well be wrong, and they could just be a bunch of nobodies. They could just be a bunch of ninjas. They definitely look like ninjas. That's for sure. But either way, this is very interesting, but very confusing at the same time. Seth Rollins came to the ring. You see Buddy Murphy backstage before they came to the ring. Buddy Murphy was watching back what he did to Aleister Black. I think Buddy Murphy might be regretting what he did. I really am hoping they set up a breakup between Murphy and Rollins, because I feel like Murphy is starting to see the light a little more. But Seth comes to the ring and he starts putting a lot of blame on Tom Phillips, blaming him for not being a good commentator. Seth, I think you should more be going to Byron Saxton. I think you should more be blaming Byron Saxton, because Byron Saxton is a terrible commentator. He whines and complains about heels, being heels. Seth Rollins tells Tom Phillips to be neutral and call things down the middle, but really he should be telling that to Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton's not neutral. He complains about Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. He complains about Boss Sasha, taking shortcuts to win matches. I think he should be talking to Byron Saxton instead of Tom Phillips. But he gets frustrated that Tom Phillips was cheering Dominic on last week. So then he tells Murphy to take out Tom Phillips. But Samoa Joe stands up and gets involved. He tells them, "You're not going to attack my broadcast partner." And then Dominic Mysterio would come out and would hit with the kendo stick. He'd beat the crap out of Rollins and Murphy with a kendo stick. And so there was a match set up between the two of them at SummerSlam. And at the end of the show, MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin were bitter that they had a bad night. So they invaded the Raw Underground, just beat the crap out of everybody down there. And that's how the show ran off the air. I don't think this Raw Underground thing's gonna last long. I give this Raw Underground a month. I give Raw Underground a month and that thing will be completely gone. I give it a month. I give it a month and it will be dead. There's no way this Raw Underground is going to be a permanent thing on Monday Night Raw. I think it will be gone within a month. So anyway, guys, that is all I got for you guys here on this Monday Night Raw review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. Subscribe for more as well. And I will see you all next time. Catch you later.